All of the city racers have now been cleared, or challengers, I should say. And now, as a result of this, we basically get thrown straight into our next race, which is up against the Los Angeles City Champ, who, by the way, is called Dice. So this is the car that we won from Hector. It is called the Monstru, and as for the colour I'm going to drive this thing in, well, everyone else is going to be driving in red, so yeah, why not? I can drive this thing in silver. That's actually not a bad idea. Anyways. Oh, okay, so apparently we don't get the same cutscene again. Interesting. Well, anyway. Let's get a move on.
You are no different than all these other races. All of you will lose.
Let's see how we go. And it is go for our first race with Dice, and I actually got a really good start there off the line. That went a lot better than I thought it was going to go. And now it's exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Clear the point.
This is really starting to piss me off now. Okay, so I'm not going to do what I did last time, because if I do that again, then well, I'm basically dead. In other words, I will basically have to overcorrect. This is really starting to get on my balls. And what I mean by that is, this is starting to get very annoying very fast. It's basically producing Blackbird's levels of annoyance.
I am the ultimate street racer.
We'll see about that. Whilst I'm still trying to catch my breath. Okay, so I'm gonna stay behind, not use it yet. There's still plenty of time to make up. I really need to make sure I don't. Why did I use up my boost there and then? Huh, what do you know? For once I actually had a good reason to use my slipstream boost. Even though I did it with an extremely damaged car. Just really gotta hope I don't hit anything for these next couple of meters. Damn it. Well, at least I can say the burnout mechanism quickly re-energizes me and gets me back up to speed. Which I think is precisely what it needs to be. Whilst I'm also trying to avoid shooting myself in the limbs. Which kind of feels like that's what's happening now because, well, for obvious reasons. Well, at least I can say the pack doesn't get very far. Once I have crashed. And the easy part is being able to catch back up to them pretty quickly. The tricky part, however, is basically trying not to be wrecked. The tricky part, however, is trying your best to not be wrecked, which I think is basically what's been happening so many times up to this point that it already feels like I've just been part of the big one. In other words, it feels like I've just been part of some sort of massive accident that's just always been preventing me from winning somehow. And it's not even my competition either. It's also pretty much a very similar case with the AI as well, because they will literally wreck you if that's what it takes for them to beat you. And part of the reason I know this is because they've done it to me multiple times before, but anyways, on my 4th attempt, I've actually won this race. Unless this was my 3rd attempt. This could have been my 3rd attempt. Anyway, so these are the race results, won by nearly 3.5 seconds over Lucius. Pearly, or Pearl, I think that's how it's pronounced, was 3rd ahead of A-Train. Dice, also the LA City champion, was 5th. Wolf finished in 6th, and it was Salim who finished in 7th. Okay, anyway. I'm gonna move on to the next race now, just because.
This kid got something, but he ain't seen the dice in full effect. Let's not waste more of my time. Drive!
I will drive, yo. Once I can figure this whole thing out. I should also mention the car Dice is driving is based off of the Dodge Viper GTSR concept. In case if you're wanting to know what car it is he's driving. Okay, so I think this is now attempt 4 of me doing this race. And basically, since I had a moment to myself to basically stop my fucking baby screaming, which is basically what I did before, because, well, I had a tin of Tango, which probably set me off to the point of where it basically made me angry to the point of where I know I should have been nowhere near that angry, so I wasn't proud of it, it was stupid, and basically what I'm going to be doing now is heading up this hillside road here, because this is the easiest way for me to get to the checkpoint without just getting totally drilled. And I literally just jinxed myself because someone did just drill me. But either way, if there is one thing I do know about this race, is that I do have plenty of time to make up in the... How about now? I think it was that cop that caused me to miss that. Yeah, why don't you do me a favour and piss off? This race is just total carnage. Literally, no matter what I try and do at this stage, it's just made me come to the... It's just made me come to the very sad truth that The only word which I can use to describe this race is karma. In other words, it's basically about as horrible.
Mess with me and I will embarrass you.
In other words, it's about as horrible as being possessed by that demon from The Exorcist. That's basically what I think this feels like.
Unit requesting backup.
Or something very similar to that, is what I think it feels like.
Code 2. Suspect not responding. Requesting backup.
Well, at least I can say there's still enough time for me to get back to where I... Oh, for fuck's sake. I hate this race. I've only been doing this a few times and already I hate it. For many reasons. And I'm probably going to hate it even more once a cop just comes up to me and arrests me. That's what I think is going to happen next. Well, I'm just going to use my boost and get it out of the way. I really cannot wait for this race to be over. Oh, what do you know? I'm actually taking the same direction as Dice. So am I. I probably should have followed you though. Oh well. I really don't care what happens as long as I somehow manage to get back into the lead. It's always confusing on how erratic you just have to be when driving these roads. It's basically the sort of erraticness you just cannot seem to escape from. Okay, I'm not gonna miss it this time. Okay, I'm squeezed through. Oh my god. Wow. I did not think that was going to be the winning attempt, but it somehow was. Christ almighty. That was literally a repeat of the way I beat Gina. I'm so glad that Slipstream Turbo Boost was there when I needed it most. I somehow won this race by just over a tenth ahead of Pearl. Dice finishes third, followed by Salim, then it was Wolf in fifth, and it was A-Train who finished last. And I can definitely say that was a chaos-filled race. In other words, it was extremely wacky. Wacky enough for me to now record a replay. Since I was much calmer this time around compared to when I did this originally. But either way, the Slipstream Turbo helped me to secure the win, and the win is precisely what I got in the end. But I really had to bust my balls to get that one. That's one thing I can say for sure. In other words, it was a close-fought victory. But it was a real ass-busting victory. Because that definitely felt about as chaos-filled as it could get. But yet, in true Talladega fashion, it basically became a race that was won right in the dying stages. Also, I should mention, it is no fun driving in the fog. If there is one thing I can confidently assure you you don't want to be driving in, it's fog. When you're playing this game. But in this game, however, when you're having to deal with as much dense fog as this one, there isn't really much else you can do, except just try to fight for your life. I'm also glad to say I did use those burnouts as well, because they did get my car back up to speed pretty quickly, and I gotta say, if it weren't for all those, then chances are I probably would not have won this race the way I did. But either way, it came to me when I needed it most, and quite amazingly, it actually paid off. Even though it basically had to get to lunatic levels of crazy for me to somehow pull it off. Yeah, by the way, this is what a very damaged car looks like. Okay, well anyway, I think that's gonna do it for now. I should have more than enough footage there of the monstru for me to get a decent-ish thumbnail. Anyway, let's move on.
Two-wheel driving can turn a potential wreck into a near miss in heavy traffic. Just hold weight transfer and pull right or left to pop your car up on two wheels and skirt right through those tight gaps.
He's got some mad skills. I'll give him that.
I got some things to sort out in Paris. This guy seems like he really has a shot to tear it up Euro style. You ever drag Parisian streets at mega speeds?
Quite amazingly, Gina, I have not. I've only done the Los Angeles part of the game. Officially. So anyways, upon emerging victorious in Los Angeles, we immediately get thrown into our second city in this game, which is Paris. And ultimately, this is the car that we win from DICE. It is called the Jersey XS, and as you can see, it is based on a concept version of the Dodge Viper GTSR. In other words, the road car version of the Dodge Viper GTSR. And I'll probably be driving it in red just because, well, I've not driven a car in red yet. Anyway. Woo! So glad that's over. Anyways, so 28.2% of this game is now complete, and we can now move on to Paris for our next episode.